I'm John McCullough from PositiveLight.com, and this September, Katie is hosting a forum on new science and new directions in HIV and hepatitis C. And I'm here today with Laurie Edmonston, who is Katie's executive director. And Laurie, I wonder, before we talk about the forum, if you could share with our viewers who may not be familiar with Katie what the organization is about.
Sure, John. Katie's been around for almost 25 years now. Katie is a knowledge exchange broker working nationally in HIV and hepatitis C to help give people living with hepatitis C and HIV and service providers, frontline service providers, and people at risk for contracting HIV or hepatitis C the information they need to take care of their health and make informed choices.
So new science and new directions in HIV is a pretty broad, all-encompassing topic. So could you narrow that down a little bit for us and talk perhaps a little bit about what, within that parameter, what is the theme of the conference?
Sure. There's a lot of very exciting, innovative new research that has been coming out in the last few years that tells us more about treatment of HIV, new exciting treatments coming out, very promising treatments for hepatitis C as well, and tells us more about things that we need to take into account in designing prevention programs and in encouraging and implementing uptake of testing as well. And so so we have a lot of great new information, great new knowledge, but we have to integrate it into existing programs and modify existing programs to be able to maximize the importance of this, maximize the implementation of this new information to have the best effects.
Right. So we'll talk about that in a moment, but at the Katie Forum itself, who's going to be there?
There will be people living with HIV, people living with hepatitis C, people who are working in the field at the frontline level, at the public health level, at the clinical level, and people who are working in policy and in research as well.
Right. So you've talked about integration, and I take it that really means integrating research into practice and programs, and integrating those people who actually deliver those programs, integrating the services. So why is that particularly important at this time now?
It's very important because what we know is that from prevention initiatives and outreach to getting tested to getting on treatment and then being able to sustain treatment and adhere to treatment so that the best benefits of treatment are achieved. Suppressed viral loads and decreased risk of transmission. That continuum is hugely important, but that continuum there's a need for improved engagement and linkages between all of those steps along that continuum and between those specific and distinct services. Because if there isn't important linkages, if services are fragmented, then we lose people. We lose people to care, we lose people to treatment, and people are not able to maximize the benefits of what we know and what we can offer and how they can achieve the best health possible.
Right. So that's very much then putting what we know from new research into practice, but there's also some need to begin to integrate HIV services with services for hepatitis C and other bloodborne infections.
So, yes. So there's common causes and common populations, and people don't want to go to numerous service providers, to numerous clinicians for specific treatments when they are one whole person and really should have an integrated service delivery for the individual, for the best health outcomes for the individual. And we also know that there's a huge, a very important connection between things like sexually transmitted infections, which can be cured, and HIV, which can be treated, and hepatitis C, which can be cleared, and even things like TB, which are also, very related to, and can come in the same individual can experience that as well. And again, they, if sexually transmitted infections are present, then it's easier for someone to contract HIV. It also makes treatment more challenging. If someone is hepatitis C positive and HIV positive, there's further complications about treatment and which do you treat when and how can the treatments be coordinated. And so that coordination, that integration of services is hugely important.
Yes, and we've been working in silos for so long that I guess we really have to rethink that because of precisely the things you've been talking about.
And at the CATIE Forum, which will be webcast, and there'll be, I understand, a link at the end of this interview provided for people. We're going to be bringing people together who are offering integrated programs across the country. So we know a lot about the challenges of doing that, and we need to address those challenges, but there's also some great programs happening across the country where these services are being offered in an integrated way. And that's part of what we're going to be showcasing.
Good. So we'll be learning about those programs. That will be exciting. So we haven't had much of a national conversation in Canada. Again, we tend to live in our provincial silos as well. So I guess one of the outcomes you'd be hoping for is to begin or continue that national conversation. But are there any other outcomes that you are hoping for as a result of the CATIE Forum?
Well, knowledge exchange among service providers and between disciplines is very important, and integration requires a multidisciplinary approach. So we are bringing many disciplines together, and also bringing people from different jurisdictions together. And I think that the epidemics are different in different jurisdictions, but there's best practices and things to learn from other jurisdictions. And something that can be learned from a program that's out east that can be modified and applied to a program that's out west, and some connections that can be made that can facilitate the implementation of changes to ultimately benefit the individual and have improved holistic care.
Right. Well, I think it's going to be a very stimulating and important couple of days, Laurie. As Laurie has mentioned, the CATIE Forum will be available as a webcast starting on Wednesday, September the 18th, and continuing through on September the 19th, Thursday, starting at 8 o'clock Eastern Time on the Wednesday and the Thursday. And so for those of you who cannot be at the forum, the CATIE Forum, or who missed it, you can log in at that time to see the proceedings. And also starting sometime in early October, the recording of the webcast will be available on the CATIE website. And the address for the CATIE website and the address of the forum is on your screen at the moment. As well, PositiveLight.com will be reporting from the CATIE Forum, so please check our website, come back, and we'll have those reports for you. And for the OHTN and PositiveLight.com, I'm John McCullough.